Closed captioning is brought to you by Scent Thief. Make the wind your cover.
Everybody says it was impossible, but I did the impossible. Thank you for the shot.
This week on Innerlocs Outthere, Corey and his son Brody are hunting the flatlands of Kansas in quest of an early season whitetail. Things get interesting as Brody comes face to face with a buck they call the Freak.
You got yourself a monster Kansas buck, and this is the coolest deer in the house by far.
It started with a dream, a vision and a passion, but 8 years old already put it into action. Who knew back then the outcome would be me with my own show on national TV? Learned to love the outdoors from my dad as a kid. Now kept me out of trouble, so I'm thankful I did. From doing projects in high school to being field producer, never lost focus on my goals or my future. Now I travel around the country, stalking my prey. From deer frogs and buffalo to record-sized rays, the bow fishing guru, while hunting extremists. From archery to rifle, make the transition seamless. A year-round adventure, I proved that it can be. The only thing that matters more to me is my family. So come and make these memories last a lifetime with me, and watch it on Innerlocs Outthere TV. Let's get out there, out there, out there. Let's go out.
Welcome to Kansas. Nicknamed the Sunflower State, but also known as the Jayhawk State, the Midway State, and the Wheat State. This region of plains and prairie is the breadbasket of the country, growing more wheat than any other state in the Union. But this isn't a history lesson, it's a hunting show. Kansas has been the destination of Innerlocs Outthere for many years. The entire Brossman family has done well in Kansas thanks to the Dunlap family. The one and only Brossman who is not tagged out on a Kansas giant is 7-year-old Brody Brossman.
Mom, Dad, and Sissy have killed big deer in Kansas. Now it's my turn.
Brody has never been to Kansas, so it was his turn to try to draw a tag so he could hunt monster bucks in Kansas.
When the good news came that Brody drew a Kansas tag, the plans went into motion. Jesse strategically placed the reveal cameras in areas that he knew big deer had been hanging out. Typically in the early season during the youth hunt, the bucks are hitting the fields such as milo and soybean. This is the perfect time to set up on the edges and wait for those bucks to walk out into view.
I like putting out this rackroids with the corn. This has been a big help over the summer here. It's picked up the deer productivity at our spots. So I got a couple areas down here. I got some Black Widow branch butter that I want to put on there. They'll come in there, and everybody knows that they like the licking branches. So we're gonna go down here, put a few spots up, and hopefully they'll start hitting it. Got about a week and a half before Brody gets here, so.
Trail cameras are huge help when it comes to whitetail hunting. The Reveal by Tacticam really gets a workout in Kansas.
I put this Tacticam, the Reveal, up, and out here we get so many pictures that I run an external power source. I don't even run batteries in here because if you're over bait and you're over a place where these deer are traveling, I'll have probably 300-400 pictures a night. So instead of running back and forth to the store and buying a lot of batteries, I just put me a 12-volt feeder battery in there, plugged it into the bottom, and it's good to go.
When I drew a tag for Kansas, I was pumped.
Now that Jesse has put in the work, it's time for Corey and Brody to venture out into the land of Oz.
I don't want to yell or talk loud because everybody's yelling. And yeah, we're going to Kansas for my first time there. And we're going to shoot a huge deer for me. I was excited for Kansas, but I was more excited for the flight.
Well, here we are, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Brody's heading to the Midwest on his first whitetail hunt in Kansas. But I think he's more excited because it's his first time flying in an airplane. So, we're gonna have a lot of fun on this trip. Dunlap's got a lot of big deer, and hopefully we can make it happen, right? All right, here we go. First time flying, first time in Kansas. Once we got up in the air, Brody started to mellow out, and things went pretty smooth.
We went on the first one, and nothing really happened. I got excited, but it was my first time on a plane today. First time going to Kansas. Shoot big buck.
Flying with Brody was a lot of fun, especially when we got to the second and third airport and he found the moving sidewalks. Once we arrived in Kansas, we had absolutely no time to screw around. We got back to Jesse's house, we showered in Scent Thief, and we headed right out for the first afternoon of hunting. First time out here in Kansas. My dad's been out here, shot a nice buck. My wife's been out here and shot a big buck. My daughter's been out here and shot a big deer. And I've killed my biggest deer here, so it's now Brody's turn. So a little emotional right now for me, but this is my second home, and I couldn't thank the Dunlaps enough for everything they do. So I know my head's on a spin right now, but we just landed, just got off the plane. Jesse got us, and it's 5:30. We got to get to the field, so it's gonna be a good night. We'll see you in the woods. I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely nervous about this hunt. It almost brought back memories of Cameron's first time in Kansas and the anxiety I had.
Innerlocs Outthere is powered by Interlock Broadheads, Umarex Air Guns, Luminoc, Honda Marine and Honda Generators, AMS Bow Fishing, Black Widow Deer Lures. Innerlocs Outthere is also proud to endorse these great partners. Before the break, Corey, Brody, and Joanne flew from Pennsylvania to Kansas. They quickly showered up in Scent Thief and headed to the blind. The stage is set for an exciting hunt. Multiple big deer had been showing up on the trail cameras. One big deer in particular, nicknamed the Freak, had sparked the interest of Jesse. The guys were hoping to see this big deer in person so Brody could get a shot.
Ready? 8th of September. 7th of September. Boy, I'm a mess. We're here in Kansas youth season. Brody finally made it to Kansas, baby. And we have got a cold front on its way. The winds are picking up, the temperatures are dropping rapidly, and we are hoping that these deer are gonna be on their feet. Jesse's been scouting this runway out for weeks, and we've got a reveal by Tacticam right over here. And it's been showing us some good deer, so. Brody, you excited? You think you can kill one this week? We're gonna have fun. Brody got to ride in his first airplane, and now we just landed. And we hurried up, Jesse got us in here, and we got a couple hours before it gets dark, so let's see if we can let that 243 bark tonight. The first day was a lot of fun. We saw a bunch of does, we had some buck off in the distance, but no shots. Day one in the books. Brody got to fly on a plane for the first time, and actually 3 planes to get here. And then we went to, when we got here, we jumped in the woods, and we had a great first night. We had a bunch of does within range. They were feeding in and out of that wash, and then we spotted some of the bigger deer that we were after, probably 200 yards away, a little too far for Brody, and they were just off camera, but we watched them all night. In fact, when we left, the reveal went off, and most of them had walked into where we wanted them to be. So, storm's coming. Don't know what's going to happen tonight, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. It'll be interesting with this weather change. So, Brody right now is hungry. I'm hungry. We're going to get a bite to eat and enjoy the rest of the evening. Welcome to Kansas, buddy.
Day one is in the books. Both Brody and Corey had a long day. It was time for some sleep so they could get after the big bucks of Kansas on day 2.
When we woke up, it was cold and rainy, the perfect combination for deer hunting.
The swirling winds in Kansas typically make hunting tough. However, the guys are using Scent Thief. This product shuts down the deer's ability to smell. Their clothing was washed in Scent Thief. They bathed in Scent Thief, and they sprayed down when they go to the blind. This will help the guys stay undetected during the hunt.
We didn't want to cut any corners, so Brody and I did the laundry and scent thief to make sure everything was ready to go, because this was going to be our perfect opportunity for Brody to tag out.
But it's been raining all day. We're bound and determined to get Brody a deer. The hunt is one thing, but getting in, and then if he does get something, getting out. It's going to take a helicopter or something to get us in and out. But we're going to try.
By the looks of this weather, I'd say the guys are in for a great hunt.
We're going to the second day, and we're in a different spot now. So I'm pretty sure a big buck will run out so I can shoot it.
We were slinging mud. My hat was covered in mud. We were all smiles because, you know, the weather had broke. The anticipation was high. The deer were on the farm. We just needed one to walk out close enough for Brody to let that 243 bark.
Man, I can't believe we made it in here. Kansas youth season. The bottom has dropped out. The first day we hunted it was 80 degrees, and we hunted this farm. It's a blind about 50 yards north of us. And we saw 5 bucks and got very, very little footage of a couple of them. So we just popped this blind up, and we're maybe 150 yards from where we seen them bucks the other night. They stage on this bottom. We know they're bedding in this Milo, and hopefully they're gonna walk up through here soon. It'll be a tough shot for Brody, but I got all the confidence in Brody can make it if they come out there at 150 yards, but we're thinking they're gonna come right up through here tonight.
2 days in the books in Kansas. Will Brody have a chance at a big whitetail, or will he go home with a tag in his pocket? It's time for another edition of Cammie's Corner. Identifying your target is this week's topic.
I can't stress this enough. Identify your target before shooting because it is extremely important. Once you pull that trigger, you cannot get that shot back. Make sure you're always pointing a firearm in a safe direction and know what you're shooting.
Innerlocs Outthere is powered by Interlock Broadheads, Rackroyds, Kula Buck, Scent Thief, Powertran, Lakewood Products. Innerlocs Outthere is also proud to endorse these great partners.
All set up, time to rule the woods.
Brody, right here, 2 big bucks coming. There's an 8.
There's an 8. That's the freak right there.
Yeah. The freak's the second buck, Brody. The second one. All right, he's the second. We got a doe and 2 bucks up here on the hill coming down at us.
Shaking.
You all right? Calm down. They're gonna come down to this grass, bud. All right, Brody. Jesse, you need to switch with me and let me behind Brody, because we gotta move that gun a little bit. All right, I'll switch. All right, Brody, hold on, I'll help you. We gotta move that gun. All right, hold on, we got it.
That's a huge deer.
All right, they're coming right down. We gotta turn it. Brody, get on this gun. Get on the gun. Calm down. You got time. Over there. Move it over there. You got time. Look. Keep your cheek back. Here. This in your shoulder so don't kick. Take your time.
It was like these deer read my mind. They split up, and the freak was heading right to the branch butter that Jesse put out. We were just hoping he would stay there long enough for Brody to get a good broadside shot.
That's the biggest deer here. Yeah, I shoot it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Brody was so close to getting a shot off, and this deer all of a sudden just went buck crazy and started jumping around and running right towards the blind.
Ready? Yeah. Pull the trigger, Drew. Pull the trigger. Check it out. Reload. Get on him again. Stand. Take your time, Brody.
We got him.
Hold on. Shoot him again, Brody. Hold on. Brody, here. Shoot him. Shoot him again. Hold on, Brody. Shoot him again. Get back on him. He's going down.
He's down. We got him.
He's down. You did it, buddy. You did it, little buddy. You got the freak. He got the freak. How was that? That was the best. What do we get to do now?
We go gut him.
We have to go get your deer. Let's go get your deer.
Okay. Okay, stop recording.
Products seen on today's show can be purchased at mikesarchery.com.
Outdoor Edge. There is never a dull moment with the razor-sharp, replaceable blade knives.
Check it out. Reload. Get on him again. Stand. Take your time, Brody.
We got him.
Hold on. Shoot him again, Brody. Hold on. Brody, here. Shoot him.
Looks like Mom and Dad need to make room on the wall for this big Kansas buck. Nice shooting, Brody.
He's down. You did it, buddy. You did it, little buddy. You got the freak. He got the freak. How was that? That was the best. What do we get to do now?
We have to go gut him.
We have to go get your deer. Let's go get your deer.
Okay. Okay, stop recording.
Oh my gosh.
I just killed the biggest deer here at the spot.
As a father, this is what we all live for. But proud of you, buddy. You showed poise. I was more panicking than you were. I wanted you to shoot the third time.
I was going like this.
I didn't know where you hit him because I was too busy worrying about the gun kicking or whatever. Jesse was watching, and Jesse said he's going to go down, and he went.
That's the first one that I shot that has drop times.
I'll tell you what. Let's quit BSing and go back to the truck, and then go get a bunch of people.
I want to see first.
No, we just let that deer for the coyotes.
No.
We walk up to this deer, and I look down, and it's got points coming out all over the place. A true Kansas giant.
3, 4, 5.
Look at this.
Wait, let me count these. Let me try and count these.
Go ahead, count
1,
them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
You didn't count this one. Well, let's count them again.
Okay.
This ain't Common Core math, son.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
I definitely have the biggest one in the house.
Look
Wait,
at this.
that thing
Look
is
at
definitely. Look behind me.
Brody, son, you got yourself a monster Kansas buck, and this is the coolest deer in the house by far.
We got the buck tagged, cleaned up with the Outdoor Edge knife, and we took it back to the house where it seemed like the entourage was waiting for us. Josh brought his boys over, Jed came over with his kids, and it was time to score this deer to see if Brody beat Cammy. That's awesome.
50 points.
Holy cow.
We were gutting it, Corey. I don't know where this thing's hit. I think he just scared it to death.
I didn't. Dad felt the bullet.
Did he run anywhere?
He just
know,
like
15
he
yards?
ran. Yeah, he ran like
Bolt
5
right
yards.
here.
All Brody could talk about on this trip was how he wanted to beat his sister's 150 that she had shot a couple years ago. So when we got back, the guys got the tape out and started to add up the numbers.
The mass measurement, the H1, H2, and H3. Now we got to do the H4 right here. You got to use a cable so it doesn't stretch. And you tighten that up.
Then you put the pin on
And you
it.
got to put an alligator clip. Some guys use different things, but so you bring this over to the deal. You straighten this wire out.
And then you check how long that is.
Yep. So this is going to be your H4, and you got to go behind it because when you measure that, so your H4 is going to be,
Is it right there?
hey, your H4 is pretty good for this deer. It's 3 6/8. What do you think? What did you say you wanted this deer to do? Bigger than Sissy's?
Yeah.
What do you think? Sissy's was what? 150? Look at that. Look at that total.
162.
Yep.
162, man.
5/8.
5/8.
Give me some, dude.
I had a really good time in Kansas. That was actually really my first time in Kansas, first flight as well. And I was really excited, and I was glad to hear that I killed a bigger deer than C, because I've been trying to do that for a long time now.
Kansas is the land of giants. Looks like Cameron has her work cut out for her moving forward. The sibling rivalry has begun out there.
He has 16 points, and how much inches is he? 162?
Innerlocs Outthere is powered by Interlock Broadheads, Umarex Air Guns, Luminoc, Honda Marine and Honda Generators, AMS Bow Fishing, Black Widow Deer Lure, Kula Buck, Scent Thief. Innerlocs Outthere is also proud to endorse these great partners: